Hey guys, MD Prepper here. Part 10 of the Dollar Tree 72-hour kit. This time, lighting options. You say, well, we already did combustion and fire tools and stuff like that earlier. Yeah, we did. We didn't do lighting. Lighting isn't necessarily burning. Now, it can be, but honestly, you can't burn things everywhere you go. Not everything's going to be amenable to starting a fire somewhere. If you're in your car somewhere like that, yeah, you could light a candle, something like that, but what if you're in an old survival shelter, something like that with a bunch of other folks? You know, I don't know. Large cans of gasoline laying around. You probably don't need any open flame, something like that. So, open flame, fire, obviously provides warmth, use it for cooking and all that. Not universally useful, however, but we're going to blitz through that quickly because you've already seen a lot of the stuff in the combustion area. Cigarette lighter, must. Got to have at least 2 of these, so throw that aside. Hand sanitizer, we've talked about that plenty of times. You can use that to start a fire, especially with cotton ball, something like that. Vaseline, also with cotton ball, something like that, can start a fire. Again, not going to spend a lot of time on that in this video. Matches, a must. You know, check my combustion video. We can talk about how many matches we need some other time. Cotton balls, again, tons of uses for these. We just got to figure out how many of these we want to carry with us, but use those for fire starting and all that. Little 6-pack of the emergency candles. Again, great light source, but not as good as a flashlight overall, okay? More of a heat source, an emergency light source. Not going to be good for spotting around if I'm looking for something that I dropped or something like that. Now, I'm going to slow this down here a second here as we get into what I consider somewhat more useful things. Now, this is not an actual Dollar Tree product. I want to say that up front because I've gotten a tell recently and I looked it up on their website and seems to be the truth at Dollar Tree. They make an 80-hour survival candle that looks a lot like this, a little bit taller from what I can tell, a little leaner and taller, that's $1. Or burn about 80 hours. Now this is one of my 50-hour survival candles. I've got another video on this way back in my early days. The vid probably sucks. It probably sucks real bad. But anyway, this is a stand-in for that 80-hour candle. I went to my local store, one of my local stores this weekend, and did not find those available in stock, but the other store that I don't go to as often does tend to have a bigger candle selection that had the emergency candles and all that stuff where my standard clothes store did not. So I'm going to probably check that out in the next few days. But if I could find an 80-hour survival candle for $1, I'm going to buy several cases of those for general purpose. But we're definitely going to need to throw one of those into the kit for lighting and all of that. Again, 72-hour kit and an 80-hour candle. Light it up and let it burn, if that's what you want to do. Anyway, I'm going to look into that, guys. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Now, next step, we're still talking about combustion, flames and all of that. Probably not as good as that 80-hour candle, if I can find it. I'm not promising anything, guys. Present, it's just a rumor. Votive candles, these little tea light candles that we've all seen around. Your girlfriends and wives and maybe daughters just adore these things. I don't know why, but anyway, they're okay. They're a decent little source. 16 unscented candles in this little packet for $1. These would be decent for lighting up a room for short term in the dark hours. You don't need light as much as you think you do. It's only going to be useful when it's dark. If you're going to a dark condition, going into a building with power off, something like that, no, I'm not going to be carrying these around with me. It's going to show my position and not much else. But if I'm a little campsite or a little, you know, camp area, whatever I've got, these might be decent. Small room, something like that. Closed up closet somewhere, heaven forbid, but hey, let's put off some heat and some light, so these would be okay. I've burned these quite a few times just to see how long they last. Not burn this brand in particular, but they can last a few hours. So 16 of those, that might be worth having for $1. Maybe not. Maybe you probably don't need all 16, but just a thought. You certainly wouldn't need all 16 if I could find an 80-hour one of those. But anyway, now let's get to the real stuff, guys. Flashlights and other sources of lighting for emergency travel, stuff like that. You say, well, if it rains, I'm going to stop. You know, I'm not going to burn my candles because they're just going to go out in the storm and the wind, and I'm just going to stop for the day or the night. What if you can't? What if you got somebody who's injured, hurt, you have to get them to safety, medical care, just any number of things, just, you know, rising flood waters, etc. You can think of a million reasons that you can't stop and start a fire and camp for the night. You got to keep moving. So you need some kind of alternative light source. Now, the one thing that's going to not cost you batteries. Not going to be the best light in the world, but something. Glow sticks. They do have these at Dollar Tree. They make them in the ring bracelets and the necklaces and all the weird stuff. I'd go for the little bars, the sticks, the rods, if you will. Glow sticks, this is a 2-pack for $1, so 50 cents a piece. This is a yellow and a kind of a reddish pink one. They got green and everything else. You know, whatever you want. This is one I just grabbed for $1. I'd at least throw one of these in the kit. You snap one of these open. It's a chemical light, so you don't have to worry about any kind of weather conditions. It's going to work. Cody Lundin has a nice little thing in one of his books how you drop this into water, you snap it open real good, and you're going to get much brighter light out of it for a shorter period of time because it's going to speed up the chemical process. But if you need more light in a hurry, you could use this. Would I necessarily recommend this for finding my way in the wilderness? No. But if there's a rescue party looking for me, something like that, and I'm holed up in my tent all cold and trying to keep warm or something like that, would I snap one of these and put it up in the tree at dark above me so that maybe somebody can see it from far off? Absolutely. So, you know, signaling other folks, stuff like that. I think a pack of these is worth it for $1. Now, on to the real debate. Flashlights. Now, they had a lot of flashlights, cheap ones, at Dollar Tree. They had some nice, big, giant flashlights that still cost $1 that took C&D batteries and all that. I saw no reason to get those overall, personally. If you guys say I need to pick them up, I will do so. We can add them to the kit, but we're looking for small, compact, does the job. Carrying around a bunch of CD batteries on a big flashlight, I think is a waste of space and time. I'd go for the small stuff, okay? All I need to see is, generally, in a 72-hour situation, is the ground in front of me, okay? So I don't fall and break my neck or twist an ankle or something like that. So I don't need a big flashlight. It's just overkill, in my opinion. You know, keep it small, keep it light. That's going to do the job. They didn't have any little head LEDs, but they did have some little clicker LED lights, little small stuff. I did not pick those up because I thought those might be a little too small overall. And besides, if the batteries ran out on you, they're dead. So I wanted something with replaceable batteries so we could talk about that. But because you don't know how long this is going to be stored away. Had 2 flashlights that caught my eye. I picked one up of each. Personally, I think we need 2 flashlights in our kit, one in our pocket and one in our bag, minimum, you know, in case one happens to break, something like that. I'm not sure I'd have one of each of these, but I don't know, maybe I would. Let me do the breakdown for you. This one, basic 3 LED light, right there. It's more of, obviously, the blue style light. I think this is a little brighter than the other one, just slightly. Nice crisp blue line up with 3 LEDs. Basic construction, cheap, little clicky on the back. As you can see there, little cheap lanyard there, not worth much. I mean, you could slip it over your finger while you're doing other stuff, like you see with some of your gun videos. You know, you hold your weapon like that, and you can drop it if you need to rack your slide and all that. But well, we're not talking tactical uses. But anyway, I think this one's probably the better light because I like the crisp blue light and I like the 3 LEDs. In case one LED took a dive, the other 2 may be able to do the job. But that's $1. This one runs off 3 AAAs. Okay, now I've got some batteries here. We need to talk about how many of these we need. I would definitely probably pack some spares. I would not just trust the ones I kept stored in here. You get 8 batteries for $1. AAA or AA. We'll talk about that in a second. So we got to figure out how many of those we want. But again, so $1, 3 LEDs. The next one I think has a lot more options overall. Now this one's only got 1 light. Of course, you get your little reflector in there. It's more of a yellow, kind of your dull yellow light. Still fairly bright and close range. I'd say these two are about equivalent. Slight edge to this one, very slight. Okay, so you got your yellow light there. Okay, big deal. This one looks prettier. This one has some options. The head on it here will swivel. Aha, options. And it's got a clip right there. You can see that. That's got some options. Now, you say, why would I want that? Well, if I'm propping this up somewhere and using it to shine light on something because I need both hands to suture or care for a wound or something like that, you know, I would maybe want to be able to do something like that. Put it at an angle, shift it around, twist it, you know, attach it to something, i.e. Possibly your baseball cap, the bill of your baseball cap, and make this a hands-free kind of thing. So that's going to be great if you're working on stuff and, you know, you're alone, you need both hands. You don't have somebody else to point the light for you. So working in tight spaces, something like that. Need to work on a car, maybe you can position this the way you need it and angle the head to light things up. So this has a lot more options than this one. I think this is a superior light as far as light quality, lumen-wise. There's that one. Probably not going to tell on Facebook. or YouTube, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, this one takes 2 AA's as opposed to the 3 AA's for this one, so it takes less batteries but bigger batteries. Don't know what we want to do, guys. You know, we could stack one, cache 1 of each or 2 of each. I don't know, they're $1 a piece. But again, there's a certain point of how much is just too much ridiculousness as far as batteries go. We got to figure that out. Of course, we're going to still carry our lighters and all that other stuff, but we got to think about our other flashlight options. I think this is going to be just as good overall for general purpose as a big flashlight. I'd rather have the flashlight that I can slide in my pocket than the big one that I have to set down to use other things. So anyway, these are the 2 options I saw. There were some smaller things, some little book lights and all that other stuff. I didn't think those were particularly useful for our little project here. But anyway, let me know what you think. I think a couple of these glow sticks should be a pretty decent option overall, just to have them. But obviously, I want my lighters and my flashlights before I want these. But I think these are worth it, personally. Got a little hook on them, you hang them up over a limb, something like that, dangle them. You know, heck, maybe use them to track fish. You dangle it over the water at night, something like that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. This is part 10, lighting options. Dollar Tree Survival Kit. MD Prepper, out.